right, so we just got this great groove in. It's a 6/8 groove, and the question is, how do I chop with a 6/8 groove? Because normally most of the chopping stuff that we're doing is with pop tunes, and that's pretty standard in 4/4 time. So we're used to using the groove on, which is the smallest subdivision of the beat. And I'm going to say the same thing is applicable here. So in the 4/4 grooves, most of the time, the smallest subdivision of the groove that we want to do is going to be 16th notes. For 6/8, I think we're going to do 16th notes as well. So let's listen to this groove real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So 16th notes is still the groove. Okay, so we're still going to use 16th notes. That's our grid. So our hand is going to continuously do these 16th notes. And we're still going to go through the 4 Gs. So groundwork, grid, ghosting, and groove. Write those down. Make sure you go through all those steps. Groundwork, we're just going to basically play whole notes along with this. And we're going to figure out what notes and or chords, double stops, work with this and sound pretty against this progression. So let's try that now. Okay, so it's basically in D minor, and I'm also using a flat 7 here just to give it that dominant sound. A little bit of tension there, I like that. But basically, any of your double stops for D minor or D blues is going to work and sound really cool against this. It pretty much just kind of goes in that mode for the whole thing. And I've listened ahead a little bit, so you should be good. Once we've got the groundwork done, that's basically figuring out how those chords sit under your hand. And again, we're trying to find the lowest sounding chords and stuff that work with this, because that's often where our chop needs to live, is in our lower strings. Then we're going to do the groove. We're going to do the grid, which is basically just getting those 16th notes under our hands. You can do whatever you want to with this left hand using those chords that you taught yourself in the groundwork stage. It's really important at this step that you're not ghosting any. We're going to make sure that each note is sounding. Every single 16th note is making a sound, because we are right now training our right hand to feel these 16th notes within this 6/8 pattern. So it's really important that we're not ghosting or stopping our bow, and we're continuously doing the strum bowing throughout this whole process. Okay, now once you've done the grid, you've gotten comfortable with your right hand, you've trained your left hand in the first step with the groundwork, you've trained your right hand now with the grid. Now we're going to train our right hand just a little bit more with the ghosting. So we're going to take our bow off the string during certain points of this to try and just come up with cool grooves. And the cool thing about this is, because your hand is locked into these 16th notes, no matter when you end up touching your instrument and vibrating those strings, it's going to just be part of a cool groove. And depending on where you put the ghost notes, it's going to change the groove. So see how just putting different accents and ghosting different parts of the groove, even though my hand is consistently doing the same motion, it can change from an on the beat groove to an off the beat groove to syncopated. Every groove is unlocked at this point. So once you've come up with a few things that you enjoy and that feels good under your hand, make sure you loop those a few times, get those under your hand. And you probably want to do this while the track is playing. Then the last step is just groove. And that's where we're going to add this rocking back and forth motion. That's a typical thing that I do for the groove. And we're going to add basically any other type of techniques that you want to do. So if it's a triple chop, you can come up with rhythms for that. But we're basically just adding in the chops and the punches, the snare hits, everything that you normally would add to a 4/4 beat. We're going to add all those tips and tricks into this groove. So let's just play. I'm going to kind of walk through those 4 steps in real time with you. Let's start from the beginning. So that's basically how I would do it. And then I would more than likely be recording myself because I don't trust my memory to remember what I did. But I know there was some cool moments in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen back to that recording that I just recorded, and I am going to pick out my favorite parts, pick out my favorite grooves, learn how to do those grooves. I'm going to teach myself how to do those grooves. And I'm going to make sure that I can loop them and be really comfortable with them going on forever and ever. And then I'm ready to perform. I'm ready to put those pieces into that song, take all my favorite parts, leave out all of my least favorite parts, And that's how I come up with that groove map. And that's how I get ready for these type of things. So 6/8 grooves, no fear. You're still dealing with a 16th note grid. It's just slightly different. You can think of it kind of in a slow 4 if that makes it more comfortable to the brain to kind of grasp these concepts. But basically 6/8 or 4/4. Feel free to use the 16th note grid or whatever grid makes you feel most comfortable, and have fun with it. So that's the process. Groundwork, grid, ghosting, groove, always the 4 Gs, always finding fun grooves. See you next time.